This is a story about an out-of-the-ordinary Italian family. It's called The Dramedy of Hamlet.
I've just been sitting here watching the Shakespeare adaptation for the past day now. After my original subject for this documentary fell through, I've been completely lost. Without a subject, I have no documentary. I've been searching for inspiration in Shakespeare. Finally, I think I have a solution. My job at NYU Student Resource Center has landed me an editing gig for student elections. Maybe this is what I need. It could give me what I'm looking for. Some sort of story. I might as well start with the man that hired me. I mean, without him, there is no documentary.
My name is David Vogelsang, and I'm the Executive Director at the Student Resource Center at NYU. I was working in Clemson, South Carolina, working with fraternities and sororities in a housing environment, and a similar job opened up here in New York, and I just put my name in the hat and came here working with fraternities and sororities, and did that for a couple of years, then went to Tisch School of the Arts working in student affairs. And I think working at Tisch with Parents' Day orientation got me more connected with the central part of the university, and eventually a position came open in student life and then evolved into what was now the Student Resource Center. I love working with students, and at the same time I also love trying to maybe help with the reality check about what life is really like. I think college is an experiential time. It's a time for you to explore things and maybe get in a little trouble that, if it was outside of NYU could be worse than it is. I think at the end of the day, that's the reason I do this, because I enjoy watching a student grow, looking at them as a freshman and then getting to see them 4 years later as a senior and see how they've grown and matured and experienced things, and in some capacities move into the next phase of their life. So I think that's a big part of why I do what I do. One student that used to work here is now decided he wants to go into higher ed, and I was writing references for him. He got into Harvard and Yale and Penn and decided to go to Penn, and so it's exciting to see someone being successful that way. I think a lot of the colleagues in the office, many of them started out as a grad student, and so to see them evolve into a full-time professional position I think has been rewarding, because they had an experience here and that experience was good enough that they wanted to stay and do what we do. I love that.
After working here for more than a year, I never realized how involved we are in the academic lives of these students. I mean, I just finished a video for the student class elections. I might as well see what everyone else thinks about our office. I'm especially interested in the opinions of Miss Ardone, who assigned me my video project in the first place. She began her job here as a grad student, just as David mentioned.
My name is Maya Ardone, and I'm an assistant director in the Student Resource Center. So working with the class activities boards with my colleagues, a lot of what we do is work with student leaders, to develop the students as leaders, but also to provide traditions and programming for the entire class. The students that are graduating in the class of 2012 are first-year students. They were freshmen when I started my job. So it's just really amazing to be able to look at people and say, I remember you on your first day of school, and I see what you've made out of your time in college and the type of leader that you've developed into. And it's just remarkable to get emails from students, a year or two later after they've graduated saying, can you be a reference, or hey, I've got my dream job, and thank you so much for everything that we were able to do while we were working together.
My name is Kyle Rivers, and I supervise off-campus services here at New York University in the Student Resource Center. The funny thing is we do workshops all year. Watch out for the horrible roommate or the terrible landlord. And I'll be in a workshop and I'll be talking to a student, and then 6 months later that student will show up in my office because they had a problem. But a lot of students will turn a blind eye to some of the warning signs, thinking it'll never happen to them. They find the wrong roommate, and that roommate is crazy. Well, they have to work through an escape plan, shall we say. So it's interesting. It's interesting. A lot of issues come up, and we put a lot of energy into making sure students are aware. But working with students is very gratifying. because there's this environment for learning and growth that's here at a university where everyone is kind of questioning, everyone's curious, everyone's trying to be as thoughtful as they can. So being in an environment like that is really a pleasure.
My name is Mary Miller, and I'm the Administrative Assistant at the Student Resource Center. Working with students is interesting, and it's also a lot of fun because they're just exciting and they have a lot of stories, a lot of ideas, a lot of problems. But we try to solve those problems. I hire student workers. They're the best in the world, and I hate to see them go, and they don't have any problems at all. They're a fantastic group.
It's surprising, but not unexpected, to hear such appreciation for the students here. But I feel I need to hear from a student and get their views on the office. Who better than my coworker, Kathy, who was just named one of the 15 most influential students in the class of 2011.
My name is Catherine Pena. I am a senior here at NYU. I am a front desk student worker at the Student Resource Center. Working at the Student Resource Center has helped me be a lot more informed and kind of like aware of what I need and what I need to do on campus. It also helps me just help strangers in class and stuff, which is pretty interesting. It's not like an ordinary job in any way, shape, or form, which I think keeps things not only interesting for me, but allows me to do a better job at what I do because I enjoy what I do. And I learn along the way as well. Working with students and parents can be very frustrating, and it has been very frustrating, but I think it's very rewarding, a very rewarding experience as well. Like I said, you grow as a person, you grow professionally, and you learn a lot of things. And you definitely, I think, obtain some people skills, which you're going to need regardless of what you do.
When I started this documentary, I was afraid I'd be unable to find a story. After talking to my coworkers, I found this bond between the office and its students. It's like some sort of family within the bureaucracy of NYU. But what should I have expected? I mean, the office is called the Student Resource Center. So, I guess that's a wrap. Now to go back to watching that incredible high school adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet.
Antonio didn't know, however, that Hamlet knew exactly what he was up to.